Hi, Amanda Blust here, and today for my persuasive speech, I'm just going to talk to you for a few minutes about why I feel like you should not text and drive. There were 7 trillion text messages expected to be sent out in the year 2011 alone. And sometimes that just makes me wonder how many of those were sent by someone who was behind the wheel of a vehicle. Most of us, if you asked us, we would say, what is the worst thing you can think of for someone to do while they're behind the wheel? And most of us would think that it would be somebody who is driving under the influence of alcohol. But actually, texting while driving can be even worse than a drunk driver. 30% of drivers ages 18 to 24 drive and text at the same time. And, most of us say, well, I'm a really quick texter. I know I am. I text all the time. And it's like second nature to me. But actually, texting takes our focus off of the road for 5 seconds. And even though you think 5 seconds isn't a long time, it's actually enough time to drive the length of a football field. So, that's a pretty long distance. And an accident can happen in 2 to 3 seconds while you're texting. So that's pretty quick. Texting while driving also can take your reaction time and make it equivalent to that of a 70-year-old person. And it can reduce your steering capabilities by 91%. And that was just insane to me. I couldn't believe it when I heard that. An unimpaired driver usually can react and start braking within half of a second. Someone who is driving while under the influence of alcohol, they need an additional 4 feet to begin stopping, but somebody who's texting and driving at the same time needs 70 extra feet to even begin to react and start applying the brake. I actually have a client at work whose grandson, was just out on a Saturday night with a group of his friends and having a good time, and he dropped his last friend off and headed for home, and he realized that he forgot his baseball cap at his buddy's house. So he turned around, started to head back, and grabbed his cell phone to text his friend and let him know he was coming back. And he ran off the road and rolled his truck down over an embankment, and they didn't even know if he was going to make it, all because of a little text message. And thankfully he's okay, but things could have been a lot worse for him. Texting while driving does increase the risk of an accident by over 23%. And 95% of drivers say that they think that texting while driving is unacceptable, but 21% of those same drivers actually admitted to doing it anyway. And it causes 6,000 deaths, or 18 a day, and also causes about 500,000 injuries per year. And it is the leading cause in fatal crashes for 16 to 19-year-olds. It causes 21% of the fatal injuries. Now, there are devices that they're trying to make to put on your cell phone so that if you're in a car, your phones won't work if you're going over a certain mile per hour. So they are making strides to decrease this problem, but I still feel like that's not good enough, because even if you're only driving through town where the speed limit's 25 miles an hour, your phone will still work, and you still can cause an accident. Texting and driving still takes your focus off of the road. So, these deaths and everything that occur, it's not worth it. And, like I said, 21% of fatal crashes for teenagers, and this rate is expected to increase 4% each year, and that's just not acceptable to me. So as you can see, texting and driving is extremely dangerous and even fatal. So hopefully next time you'll pull off the road before you send that message, because you might save a life, and it might even be your own. Thank you.